Thank you so much, Mr. President. Great privilege this afternoon of recognizing a remarkable statewide program, California Poetry Out Loud, which is now celebrating its 20th anniversary today. Now, many of you know that Poetry Out Loud brings high school students from all over the nation to compete in the memorization and performance of poetry. And here in our state, it helps to introduce young Californians to the arts. It fosters creativity and self-confidence. And so for the last 20 years, the California Arts Council has partnered with the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation to give students the opportunity to discover their voices and engage in the intergenerational conversation of art and culture. And every year, high school students, they compete at the classroom level before the champions are allowed to compete school-wide, then county-wide, and then eventually the top folks come to Sacramento to compete in the statewide Poetry Out Loud competition to find who will be the Poetry Out Loud state champion. Well, in addition to earning prize money for themselves and their school, our state champion is flown out to Washington, D.C. to represent our state in the National Poetry Out Loud finals. So over the past couple days, while we've all been doing various things, the county champions from across California have gathered here in Sacramento. They've been competing for this opportunity to represent our state in Washington, D.C., performing poems that they've memorized and made their own. And each of these students is helping to leave a mark on our literary history, shaping the next generation of cultural and community leaders. We're going to invite them up after we pass this SCR today and to honor them. But for this moment, I ask you in joining me in celebrating 20 years of California Poetry Out Loud by supporting SCR 31 today.
Senator Menjivar, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I stand in support of SCR 31. In fact, it reminded me over the weekend, I was driving home from San Diego, and I looked to the right, and there were some flower fields that looked really pretty, and I thought about all the individuals that should stop and smell some of those flowers, because we don't take enough time to just smell the roses, right, Mr. President? And then I thought about, man, what else would allow me to stop and smell the roses? What else? Maybe, listening to music or reading some books, think about some mindfulness, or take a walk outside, or, maybe walk my dog, hang out in my backyard.
Senator, as poetic as you sound, would you stick with the measure at hand?
Oh, sorry, Mr. President, yes. Poetry, I think it's so important for this youth to be part of these clubs, because then they can, attend classes timely and graduate, and then maybe go back to walking their dogs.
Once again, Senator, if you would stick with the
I apologize,
resolution.
Mr. President. Yes, just respectfully asking for an aye vote on SCR 31.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Any other discussion or debate? Any other discussion or debate? Seeing none, Senator, would you like to close?
I just want to thank my colleague for her extraordinary speech. One of the finest we've heard on this floor. And it really it was imbued with the spirit of Poetry Out Loud. And with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Ayes 37, noes 0. The resolution is adopted. We will move back to privileges of the floor and call for Senator Allen to introduce his guest from the Majority Leader's desk.
Yes, so just a few hours ago, in the swing space, our county champions from across the state competed in the last round of the California Poetry Out Loud finals. And in the conjunction of our passage of SCR 31 and the incredible speech from the senator from San Fernando Valley, I have the honor of introducing the top 3 finalists in this year's competition, each of whom performed 3 works over the last 2 days. The courage, the artistic expression, the creativity that each of these competitors displayed contributed to a wonderful competition. And despite the long afternoon of travel ahead of them, we are honored to be joined today by all 3 of this year's top finishers before they get the chance to head home. So I'm so happy to introduce this year's honorable mention, the 2025 Napa County champion from Vintage High School, Madeline Chu, this year's runner-up and the 2025 San Bernardino County champion from the Norton Science and Language Academy, Tucci Samsylvanus, and representing my home county as the Los Angeles County champion, a junior at the Archer School for Girls, back-to-back top 3 finisher, and the newly minted 2025 Poetry Out Loud state champion, Selah Johnson. Members, please join me in congratulating these accomplished state champion and finalists, welcoming them to the State Senate.